that's why we're not down there. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is of the Town of Northampton's public hearing for the proposed local law number 1 of 2026, establishing a moratorium on battery energy storage facilities. Open it. Whoever wants to speak, I want you to come up here, stand up here, and address the board. Give us your name and your address, and then you can talk. So who would like to go? Go ahead.
My name is Sarah White. I reside at 538 County Highway 152. First, I'd like to say thank you to the board members for listening to our concerns and holding this vote tonight. We appreciate that you've heard the community, and we are grateful that you have taken this step. But I need to be honest, the language of this moratorium still leaves us with serious questions. Questions no one seems to be able or willing to answer. The moratorium says it applies to new BESS projects, yet the project that brought hundreds of residents into this room, the project that has consumed months of public comment, research, and concern is not new. And because of this single word, new, we are left wondering what protections this law actually provides. We're left wondering why the town is willing to pause hypothetical future projects, but not the one already threatening our community now. So let me be clear about where we could go from here. Our community is moving forward with filing in Article 78. We are not stopping. We are not slowing down. We will continue to fight this until a judge tells us otherwise. We are committed. We are organized. We are not going away. I want to thank the people who made tonight possible. Every resident who showed up, who wrote an email, who made a phone call, who talked to neighbors, who reached out to lawmakers. You are the reason this issue cannot be ignored anymore. You've proven this small town can make big noise, and Albany has heard it. Make no mistake, state leaders are paying attention. They know this community is watching. They know we're informed. They know we're not backing down. So I want to end this message for the governor. We love our Adirondack Park. We love our lake, our forest, our wildlife, and our way of life. And we will not stand by while decisions made far from here threaten the place we call home. We will not let you destroy our beautiful Adirondack Park. Not now, not ever. And finally, to our neighbors and supporters, remember this. Our community stands to lose nothing by filing this lawsuit, but we stand to lose everything if we don't. Thank you.
Who wants to go?
I'll go. I am Violet Martin, and I reside at 98 Meadowbrook Lane, Central Square, New York. I find it fitting that this meeting is being held in the very fire department that opposes this project. The Adirondack Park didn't protect itself. It has no voice. It only has a history of people that loved it enough to stand up and speak out. You are those people. I thank you. Your community thanks you. And the entire Adirondack Park thanks you for being here tonight. I don't get paid to do this. This is not my job. But protecting the Adirondacks is something I believe is worth fighting for. As you are all aware, I have dedicated an insane amount of time and energy into reviewing and researching this project in excruciating detail. So here's a few things on why we will need a moratorium. There are site issues, fire issues, permit issues, study and assessment issues, decommissioning plan issues, and there's issues with Carson Power themselves. All of this reinforce the fact that a battery storage facility is downright irresponsible and unsafe to be put here in Northampton or anywhere else within the blue line. This is why I fought so hard for this moratorium. This town needs time to carefully review this project, consult independent experts, develop strong local laws, and safely update the zoning. What I find incredibly upsetting is in a recent interview, Carson Power was asked, will you continue the Northampton development if the town enacts a moratorium. And instead of saying no and respecting the wishes of the community and the purpose of the moratorium, Sean said, we're evaluating what that looks like. Carson Power doesn't care about this community or the Adirondacks. They only care about making money. Through my outreach, I need you to know your senator, your assemblyman, the Adirondack Park local government, other towns in this community supports you in passing this moratorium.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, go ahead. I'll take it. Joe DeMattis. I grew up on High Rock. I live in Gloversville currently. I just have a few questions and a few ideas. One, if this lithium battery thing goes in on 30 and it fails, where's the medical treatment coming from? Will you be able to get to Nathan tour?
This is a hearing, Joe. We're here to listen to what you have to say.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm asking. Can we get to the hospital?
We're not answering questions. We're here
You don't have to
listen
answer,
you.
just general.
Okay.
Where's the medical treatment coming from if, 30's closed? How are they gonna contain this fire? It's gonna run off, what is the lake, about half a mile away from the site? Now, how about tourism? When you're gonna go put your tent up 2 miles away from the lithium battery thing? I don't know how many people are gonna wanna come to Northampton campsite for that. But either way, this is a disaster in the making, and we can't let that happen. So, financially, pollution, and medically. And if it does go off, now people up here, where are you gonna go to get the groceries? You're gonna drive down Route 30 right past that site? I don't know. And if you're coming home from work, coming home from Gloversville and Johnstown, and you happen to be driving by there and that system fails. That's all I got to say.
Who's next?
I wasn't going to. Hi, my name is Lynn Paul. I have lived here for almost 65 years. Yes, I'll be 65 years soon. I am 7th generation Northvillian. I have been a proud supporter of the APA my entire career, my entire life, because I always thought that they were here to protect what we love so much. And I love this town. I love this community. I've raised my children here. They are raising their children here. I'm begging, and I don't use the word begging lightly. I am begging for a moratorium. My son, as the crow flies, lives a half-mile away from this with his 2 small daughters. If something happens, they have to evacuate. You have to think about us, but you have to think about the future. Your grandchildren, their children after that. This isn't just impacting us who are in this room. It is all the generations that come after. My son asked you, and you don't need to answer anything, is this the legacy you want to leave? For all of you, is this the legacy that you want to leave for your children, your grandchildren, and the future generations? We are the foothills of the Adirondacks. We are the beginning of the Northville Lake Placid Trail. This is a beautiful area. I see nothing gained from having this. Somewhere along the line, I'm sure somebody's going to make some money from this. It's certainly not going to be the townspeople. It certainly isn't going to be the community. It isn't going to be the wildlife or the natural life that we have around us, and we so greatly appreciate. Having something like this is only going to destroy what we have.
Who's next?
Okay. Yep. My name is Steve Naple. I live in Fish House on 103 Ryder Road. I have to admit I'm on the Northampton Town Planning Board. I didn't vote for this project for the special use permit. And for the life of me, I don't understand why other people on the board voted for it. I can't speak for them, and I don't see anybody here who's on that board. But it comes down to politics. Wise man once said that all politics are local. I think we're finding out that that's true here tonight. We see everybody here. It takes something like this BESS unit to get people involved in local politics, and you should all be proud that you're doing that. But as the politics get stratified, it goes all the way up to the governor's office. We know that the governor is in favor of BESS units and renewable energy all across the state. We know that a lot of our political leaders are encouraged by that. We know that Congressman Tonko was the former head of NYSERDA, which authorizes a lot of the activity that goes on for BESS units. And so maybe we're fighting an uphill battle from a local position. But that doesn't mean we should lose heart. It doesn't mean that we should acquiesce to what seems like pressure from the top. I think our town board has been very cooperative in recognizing, maybe later than earlier, I don't know, but they seem to be recognizing that people are concerned. As a planning board member, the question I asked was, what would a BESS unit do for the town of Northampton? What would it do for its residents? And I came up with a very pitiful amount, maybe a few $1,000s. I know the county can negotiate pilot funds, payment in lieu of taxes, that Carson Power would pay to the county, but that's not the town. And I don't see any benefit to us having the BESS unit there. So I would say stay strong, keep opposing this, and let's see where, with cooperation of the board, where it takes us. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's from the movie, I believe. Mike Green, 542, County Highway, 152. I've been, somewhat involved. I'm happy that the board is doing a moratorium, or at least we assume they're doing a moratorium. That's good. Better late than never, right? Okay, it is what it is. There's something that concerned me. There was an article in the Leader Herald with Sean from, his name's Sean, right?
Yeah.
From Carson Power. And it was, actually the article was with this gentleman right here, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Correct? It was very one-sided. I'm actually disappointed in Alita Herald for not, you didn't get any counterpoints. If you were having a sit-down type of article with him, you should have maybe tried to find someone that has been standing up at meetings. I know I have. Everybody probably recognizes me in the front row that day, to kind of counter. So here's a few things. You know, what they talked about is they talk about the problem New York grid faces, electrical demand, rise and falls throughout the day. This is needed with peak times. If not, they would have to build extra generation capacity, such as peakers, or use more expensive coal or natural gas, less efficient, dirtier, older. Okay, so I've been doing some research, okay? And I was hoping, I didn't know if cost and power, because another thing I think that's perturbed me and probably a lot of you guys, was they seemed to have an open invitation to come speak here. They were like a guest, in a way, you know? So I thought that was kind of odd, but it is what it is. But it seems like we have an open invitation to speak now. So I'm seeing where they're talking about peak time. Well, I wanted to know, and maybe you guys can start calling them, contacting them and saying, well, where exactly is this demand on this actual grid? You know, this grid's a 69 kilovolt grid. It's funny because it has about 15 solar arrays connected to its grid and its associated grid. It basically comes up to a total solar power of megawatts when operating fully. 68.25 megawatts of solar power. Okay, when I did research on the U.S. Power Authority and grid, there's grid analysis things on the internet and whatnot. The peak demand on our grid, okay, by this substation, it's also connected to 4 other substations, okay? That peak demand on that grid is only 37 megawatts. That's the highest peak it met last year, okay? That means that when it's in the most demand, which is typical hot summer days, but now in the winter, because a lot of people are converting to heat pumps and whatnot, that can also be in the winter. That means that the peak demand doesn't seem to really outstrip the supply that's on the grid.